Today's seminar, the main topic will be method of reaching enlightenment and joy. This is not religious preaching. I repeat, this is not religious preaching. Master Ching Hai was born in Vietnam, and she went to England for her education, and she got married with a German doctor. I will give you a little bit introduction during the introduction period. She didn't go public in Taiwan until 2 years ago. Right now she has around 50,000 disciples in Taiwan. And some of them are medical doctors or lawyers or officers. And a lot of them are just like regular people. Some are poor. As you can see, everybody's equal. There are total 7 places in Taiwan that Master Ching Hai bought the land. She has no temple at all. Her philosophy is you don't have to spend your money in the buildings. You can use your money for something good, like charity in general, that people need money for. So when you go to Taiwan, you want to see Master Ching Hai, you have to bring your tent. You bring your own tent. And you can do the meditation over there. You can have dinner and lunch over there. And the meal, it's up to you. If you can afford, you pay. If you cannot afford, you don't have to pay. It's free. Let's welcome Master Ching Hai. Thank you very much. Master Ching Hai, ladies and gentlemen, the following 15 minutes, I would like to give a little bit introduction here. As far as the initiation for tomorrow, there will be a map and direction to go to it's a Korean temple. All right. What's initiation? Master will explain later. And during the initiation, you don't talk at all. It's free admission too. There's no charge for that. We also provide books and videotapes and also the audio tapes, necklace or pins at the entrance of the door. And remember, all the photos, please take good care of it. There's so many stories about those photos. Those photos will lead you through your life safely. It's a lot of evidence. Inside some photos, you can see a lot of lights generated from Master Ching Hai. Only living Buddha or living saint can generate the light. Please do take care of it. Don't abuse it. Our flower offering and fruit offering.
Oh, too heavy. Thank you. Con là cái gì nào? Bây giờ tôi xấu tôi cười. Con muốn lấy bao nhiêu thì con lấy nữa đi. Đấy, đó đủ rồi, chả hay mà. Vui thân.
Thank you.
Thank you ha. Cảm ơn ha.
I would like to take the next 5 minutes to give you a little introduction of our Master. Master Ching Hai was born in Vietnam, and she went to England for her education, and she got married with a medical doctor in Germany. And after that, she went to Himalaya, and 60 years ago, when she got enlightened, she went to Taiwan, and she didn't go public until 1.5 years ago. And as I explained to you, there are around 50,000 disciples in Taiwan now. It's very, very popular now. Master Ching Hai, before she came over here, she went to Malaysia, Singapore, Japan, and she came to San Francisco, Los Angeles. And right before the earthquake, half an hour before the earthquake in California, she flew in. She was in the airplane in the air. She flew into UCLA. And from UCLA, she came over here. That's why we have her here today. From here, she's going to Columbia University in New York City next weekend. If you have any chance, you have friends live in New York City, please invite them to attend. I think it's very worth it. And from New York City, she's going to fly to Costa Rica, Panama, Brazil, Argentina, and Honolulu. This is about her tour, and from there she will probably go back to Taiwan. Master Ching Hai can speak 5 languages. She can speak in English, French, Chinese, German, and what else? Spanish? No, not Spanish, right?
I can
Vietnamese, I'm sorry, yeah.
But cannot speak.
There's so much to talk about her, but I'm going to give another 5 minutes to Dr. Wang, who is a medical doctor in Matthew Hospital. He would like to address 15 minutes explain enlightenment. And then I will give another 5 minutes about my own experience. Let's welcome Dr. Wang.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm Dr. Quán. I have the practice in Methuen, Massachusetts here. I have the privilege to meet Master before, and we did talk a few hours about enlightenment. I think that what I'm doing right now is try to, in a way, introduce you to the talk as a reader, the different parts of the Eastern civilization as well as philosophy. I always interested in any speaker can offer me or explain to me what is enlightenment, what is the truth. Let me quote to you in the Bible, in John's Gospel, talking about the truth. It would say that I am the way, I am the truth, I am the light. No one comes to the Father except through me. In Buddhism, you also see that if you want to know the truth, Buddha said that if you want to know the truth, follow my finger. I will show you the moon, but my fingers are not the moon. Confucius in chapter 11 of section 12 in the Analects also talking about life after death or the truth. When Chung Yu asked him about life after death, Confucius said that you cannot know about death before you know about life. So where is the truth? Where is enlightenment? That's what I come here to listen and to be instructed today. There is another concept also in Taoism, and in part, in a way, it says that life is a ceaseless process of change. Matter coming together, but the matter also dissolving. It's coming together again in a different form. So there is always forms changing, but there is something, the core of it never change. It stay together. That's the truth. So today we want to know the truth. Is that the truth is emptiness, like Shingo Sutra said about it? All things here are characterized with emptiness. They are not born. They are not annihilated. They do not increase. They do not decrease. Therefore, in emptiness there is no form, no sensation, no thought, no confection, no consciousness, no knowledge, no ignorance. And talking about the concept of Dharma and Karma in Hinduism, is Dharma the character support our life, the way of our thinking? What is Dharma? So today we would have a chance to listen to Sư Cô Thanh Hải and learn something today, I hope myself. I would like to speak the following in Vietnamese. So please, the English speaking audience, excuse me. Hôm nay tôi muốn trình bày với các ông bà về cái sư cô Thanh Hải. Tôi có được nói chuyện với sư cô Thanh Hải một vài giờ đồng hồ trước khi sư cô Thanh Hải đến cái giảng đường này. Cái vấn đề quan trọng nhất tôi muốn biết rằng là cũng như là từ bé đã từ trường học và cũng như là những cái sự huấn luyện sau này do chính tôi muốn tìm thấy đây đâu là chân lý, đâu là cái sự gọi là giác ngộ. Nếu mà nói theo cái Thiên Chúa giáo thì ở trong cái John's Gospel có nói rằng là trong cái kinh thánh của John có nói rằng là ta là sự sáng, ta là cái cửa, ta là cái đạo, ta là lối đi. Nếu mà ai cũng phải theo qua ta thì mới thấy cái sự thật. Trong khi đó ở trong kinh Phật thì có nói rằng là Phật có nói là này các thầy sa môn, xin quý vị dòm theo cái tay của tôi là các thầy sẽ thấy cái mặt trăng là sự thật, nhưng mà ngón tay tôi không phải sự thật. Trong luận ngữ của Khổng Tử cũng nói trong cái chương thứ 11 và cái đoạn thứ 12 có nói về khi mà một trong những cái đồ đệ nói vào cái cuộc đời sau khi chết, thì quý vị cũng đã biết rằng là một trong cái đoạn nói rất là nổi tiếng gọi là Kính Nhi Viễn Chi, và nói rằng là bây giờ đã không biết đời bây giờ thì còn gì biết gì đến đời sau nữa, nói đến đời sau làm cái gì. Thế thì đâu là đạo, đâu là đường, đâu là lối? Trong kinh dịch cũng vậy. Kinh dịch nó là một cái gì? Kinh dịch nó cũng chỉ là một cái lối để mà giải thích cái sự thay đổi không ngừng của trời đất, và nó dựa vào một cái nguyên tắc bất biến. Cái đó cũng là đạo. Cũng như là Khổng Tử đã nói rằng là ngô đạo nhất dĩ quán chi, tức là cái đạo của ta chỉ có một lối thôi, không có cái gì khác cả. Đạo ở Ấn Độ cũng nói như thế, và đạo Thiên Chúa cũng nói vậy, và đạo Phật cũng nói như vậy. Vậy thì xin nói về cái sự tính không của đạo thiền. Tính không của đạo thiền ở trong cái Sutra về Shingo của Nhật Bản dịch cho tiếng Nhật thì có nói rằng là tất cả mọi việc nó đều bắt đầu, nó không phải là bắt đầu nhưng mà đều nó có một cái tính gọi là không, nó ở một cái chỗ trống lỗng, nó không có cái gì cả. Vậy thì ở cái chỗ đó nó sẽ không còn tình cảm, nó không còn cái cảm nghĩ, nó không còn kiến thức, nó không còn dốt nát, nó không còn cái gì cả. Cái đó nó có phải là tính của người ta không? Cái chữ Đạc Ma đã dịch là tính, hoặc là nó có phải là một phần của nghiệp không? Nghiệp nó là các mà. Vậy thì hôm nay tôi hy vọng rằng là với sư cô Thanh Hải hôm nay tôi sẽ học được cái gì, và tôi tin rằng quý vị cũng sẽ học được một tí gì. Xin kính chào quý vị. Thank you very much.
I would like to take another 5 minutes to share my own experience with Supreme Master Ching Hai. I was graduated in Taiwan with a bachelor degree in biomedical engineering. Biomedical engineering in Chinese is 医学工程, hospital engineering. I came into this country in 1979. And the story I'm going to tell you, to share with you, is about a typical educated person, how he found the light and the way through Supreme Master Ching Hai. It would probably only take 6 or 7 minutes. I went to WPI 1979 with broken English. I went over there. I can't even understand that the professor will have a test the next Monday. But anyway, I thought that I can control my life. I set up my goal. I say, I'm going to finish my degree. So I set this goal and I worked very, very hard. And I got my degree and found a job and I settled down here. Now another goal that I set. The next goal was buying a house. Now I have my house. Then I set another goal. I buy another house. Then I keep buying the house. And every day I go to hospital. We are the group, we are the department in charge of all the medical equipment in the hospital. We train medical doctors, we train nurses. We have to go to operating rooms. We have to go to intensive care units. Every day I saw a lot of death, a lot of very, very sick people. But it only takes me probably 3 hours a day to do my job because I've been there 9 years, 9.5 years. So what should I do with the rest of 4 hours? There's so much technology I have to learn. I thought everything under my control. Now I got everything. I got a beautiful wife too. What's my next goal? I got lost that time. I was not happy. I was not wealthy, but I was very comfortable. So I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where I came from, where I should go, who I was. I wasn't happy at all. Even today, I wouldn't make a box. I probably would jump for one day. That's it. I wasn't happy. It felt empty in my mind. I don't know what to do. So, about 1987, I'm kind of curious about spiritual, religious. I don't mind the Christian or Catholic, Buddhism, but I didn't like them either. I don't know why, because I don't understand. Or because I'm a stubborn, a very shy engineer, I couldn't get any response from God. Even I think I'm a very good person. I do very, very hard to help people. And sometimes I get a bad response. I am depressed from the people abuse my sincere assistance. Anyway, I was searching for a good religion because I think probably that will fit me in somewhere. For almost 1 year, I proved there's a spirit, there's a God somewhere. But when I say I prove, it's just not like a double E electrical engineer that you can prove there's electricity. But let me ask you, what do you mean electricity? Can you see it? You cannot see it. But how do you know? As a computer engineer and electronic engineer, I use electricity every day. And I know I can calculate how much current, how much potential. But I cannot show people the electricity unless I turn on a switch, the light bulb will light. That's the electricity there. Now, can you see the radio waveform? But how do you know there's a radio frequency, the radio waveform? Or TV? You don't know. There's some waveform, some energy somewhere. Unless you turn on a TV or radio, then you know it's there. So, I tried 1 year. I wasn't happy because I didn't see any light with that particular religion. It's not Christian, it's not Catholic. It's a group of people, you just do meditation. Probably the meditation they teach me is not right. So I got depressed again. I don't know what to do. I quit my job. It's a very easy and comfortable job. I quit because I'm not happy. I don't want to see any more sick people. Probably I'm selfish. I don't know. Depressed, disappointed. So I start my own company, and I have my partner, and my partner, he is also a disciple of Supreme Master Ching Hai. So she shared some experience with me, and I kind of wondering, is she real? Or she just like a leeching person, another leeching person, or like a lama? And that was 1989 this year, around May. And fortunately, Supreme Master Ching Hai will present a seminar in San Jose at the Memorial Weekend. So I took my wife with my partner. We flew into San Jose. We take that trip as a kind of vacation because just kind of curious who Supreme Master Ching Hai is. Because I found out even you have a religion, you cannot get any response from God. It's not something wrong with you. It's probably the method is not right, or probably you didn't meet a right person. So I was looking for the right person since then. Anyway, we kind of take as leisure, business, kind of vacation. We arrived there. That was first time I met Supreme Master Ching Hai. And she was very, very kind to us. She talked to us for about 30 minutes. And when we went back to hotel, and something happened to us. We had diarrhea. We don't know what. Because that time I wasn't vegan. I was a fussy person. I was picky about seafood, meat. Particularly I like pork, and I didn't eat any leftovers. I'm very picky at my food. So when we were there, I wondering, am I sick or what? But happened with us, we eat different meal, different restaurant, but we had the same result. So we asked her disciples what happened. And they all said, if you are not vegan, if you are not purified by yourself, and you had that kind of effect, which kind of Supreme Master Ching Hai help you to purify yourself? I don't want to go into more detail, okay? And what I want to say is, she presented the seminar, and in only 1/3 of the seminar, I hold my wife's hands. I say, I'm going to get initiated. Because what she say answer a lot of questions in my life. And since we initiated, so many things happen to both of us. And we are happy every day. We are healthy every day. I eat vegetables because it makes sense to us. Since then, we practice the method that Supreme Master Ching Hai taught us. We got immediate response. We see the lights. We hear the sound. It's the things that we all need today, not just you, everybody on the earth. Am I happy? I don't care how poor or how wealthy I am, because I know where I'm from, where should I go, and what should I do. The story tells you a stubborn engineer can change over to this kind of life. It's not easy, but it did very naturally. Without Supreme Master Ching Hai's help, I won't be that kind of happy and healthy here today. Thank you very much for your listening. The next one, probably couple minutes, Mr. Clement Chen has one surprise for Supreme Master Ching Hai and everybody here. Let's welcome Mr. Clement Chen.
Thank you.
Master, ladies and gentlemen, the disciples from Taiwan would like to present a song for the Master. Okay? Up here.
Right, yeah.
The meaning of this song is the Mother of the Earth. This song is composed by one of the Master disciples in Taipei. And the song is full of emotional love.
So it's a surprise, yeah? It's really surprise. Very surprised, yeah. I'm also surprised, yes, indeed.
张母的脸上两行的热泪，好像黄河长江的水。孩子们的心里燃烧了真爱，他用爱的眼泪在洗涤。风风和雨，他为我们阻挡。多少的磨难，他默默地承担。圣母无量的光披在我们的身上，保护孩子们不再受污染。圣母的指引引导在我们耳旁，告诉孩子们天堂的家乡。圣母啊，我要追随你的真理，永远不与你分离。我要追随你的真理，永远不与你分离。圣母的脸上两行的热泪，好像黄河长江的水。孩子们的心里燃上了尘埃，他用爱的眼泪在洗涤。风风和雨，他为我们阻挡。多 少的磨难，他默默地承担。圣母无量的光披在我们的身上，保护孩子们不再受无量。圣母的指引萦绕在我们耳旁，告诉孩子们天堂的家乡。圣母啊，我要追随你的真理，永远不与你分离。我要追随你的真理，永远不与你分离。圣母与我们在一起。敬礼。
谢谢 ，Thank you。你们不够忙还也来唱课，啊？
Thank you. Now I give back microphone to Mr. Lee. Thank you, Master. Thank you, everyone.
Those are the disciples. They use their own money. They come here along with Supreme Master Ching Hai. They do all the work here. And I'm really touched, especially when I arrive at local airport. May I have your honor to present Master Ching Hai to you now? Master Ching Hai, thank you.
We never have so many people in the audience, like in America. It's very, very few people indeed. We never used to this kind of scarce audience before. Anyhow, so welcome, nevertheless, and we shall make it together. It doesn't matter if people come or so few. The lecture will go on and it will benefit people after today. Some of the lectures that are printed in my books are spoken with sometimes only five or six close disciples even, not to the large audience. And they benefit many people after that. So you are just an excuse for me to speak something. You see, some of my lectures which are printed in the books actually are not for large audience. But with some of my so-called disciples, if I may call them disciples, I don't know what is the other name for these people. My friends or my cooperators. In the human language, there are many terms for many things. I feel shy to call them disciples, but I don't know if there is any other name. So these so-called disciples jot down all my lectures, which are meant for them alone, for the advanced minds of the people. And they also jot them down and brought them into the public light. And sometimes it causes a lot of stir for me, problems. Because sometimes what you can speak to one person, you cannot speak to the other person. Yeah? For example, these things that Dr. Mai just brought into your notice, that was only for him alone. Because it was he who asked all these questions. But never mind, as he already brought it to your notice, I will also comply. I will also make the best out of it. You see, these are kind of questions for individuals, like what are the interrelations between the religions, and what are all these sayings from the past masters? What are their real meanings? Yeah. But also, everyone should be pondering over these questions. Not only Dr. Nguyen or myself or only a small group of individuals, but because these topics or questions are too controversial. So sometimes I hesitate to discuss in the public and only tell them to those who are truly interested in such things. So mostly when I go to a Christian audience, I will only speak about Christianity, use Christian terminologies. When I'm speaking, addressing a Vietnamese group or Chinese or something, I would rather address only Buddhism. So of course if I met a Hindu group, I will speak about Hinduism. So maybe I ask you, what would you like to hear today? Anything special?
Enlightenment.
Enlightenment. Enlightenment you cannot hear it actually, you must experience. Well, it takes a little while to warm up the atmosphere, so please be patient. Also, do not walk out in the middle of the lecture, so that you don't have only half of the impression. And then you might cling to the last sentences, and then have a wrong impression about the speaker. Yeah. What we listen to, we should listen to the whole, and then we could understand the impact of the lecture. I find some people, sometimes they just listen to 1 or 2 sentences, which sound very provocative, and then that's it, I don't like it, and then I walked out, not understanding what is coming afterward. Now, yes, please?
In Somerset Maugham's novel, The Razor's Edge, it was stated that it's easy to be a holy man in the mountains, and it really didn't answer that in the novel. Do you think, how much is environment important?
Yes, I understand. You have heard my own students. They are engineers, or some of them are doctors, physicians, workers, taxi drivers, or many kinds of social positions. And they are working in daily life and also practicing, yeah? And as for me, I was a nun and enjoy the wandering life just for a very short while. My destiny is not that I could enjoy the nun's life in leisure in a mountain or in a monastery for a long time. So you see, as I am now, I'm mixing with all kinds of people and leading a very active life. I've been in many countries, talked to many people, and daily in contact with different people. Yeah. You need mountains sometimes just to refresh your spirit, refresh your body, yeah? And then collect some energy. And then you have to go out and give again. So to be a monk or not to be a monk is all the same. If you are householders, we should go sometimes to the mountains or to monastery or to our master's abode, yeah, in order to practice some quiescence, some silence period, in order to refresh ourselves. But later on, we must not always stay there. So no difference. So now let's go into something I would like to tell you. So now what I would like to tell you today is what is the difference between Buddhism and Christianity. Now everywhere I go, I tell people there is no difference between Buddhism and Christianity. Basically, there isn't, but there is some difference. Well, basically, when Jesus and Buddha talk about enlightenment, there is no difference, yeah? But if you read Buddhist sutras, there are many different things. The Buddhism offers a richer treasure, that's all. If Jesus Christ had been allowed to live for a longer time, rather than just 3.5 years, he might have told us of many so-called planes of existence, many levels of attainment like Buddha did. So that is the difference between Christianity and Buddhism. Christianity has only one Bible, But I did not say that Christianity has not the essence in it. The essence is excellent, and everything is there. It's just why some people are interested to study Buddhism, because the Buddhist scriptures are so vast, so many wide ranges of experiences and inner enlightenment, which Jesus did not have time to mention. So many people misunderstood and think that Jesus did not get that high attainment like Buddha did. Because the Buddha has gone through many different levels of consciousness, and therefore he encountered many so-called inner planes of existence. And he told his disciples, and also some of the Buddha's disciples had gone to these kinds of planes of existence and wrote them down. Therefore we have a very rich treasure of Buddhist sutras, whereas in Christianity, due to the prevalent persecution of the time and also the short life of Jesus, we have not many records of his disciples' attainment as well as the masters. So now I will go into one of the Buddhist sutras which describes one of the inner experiences of the disciples of the Buddha. This sutra is called Amitabha Buddha Sutra. Sutra means scripture, yeah? In that Buddhist scripture, the experience of one of the Buddha's disciples is described. The disciple was a queen of India, but she was put into prison. Now, when she was in prison, she longed very much to see her master. That was the Buddha, the Shakyamuni Buddha of India. Now when she was longing so intensively, the master appeared to her. The master appeared not in a physical body, but in a light form of body, what we call a light body or manifestation body. Hóa thân, hóa身. Any kind of master who has reached a very high level of attainment can manifest many bodies at the same time to appear to their disciples in different places. So we come back to the Amitabha Sutra. Amitabha means the infinite light. So this Buddha has infinite light, boundless light. So when this queen of India has longed so much to see the Buddha, he appeared to her in the prison. Now he appeared together with one of his disciples and took the queen by the hand and led her to another land of existence. Now scientists have proved to us that there are many lands, many planes of existence in the universe. Yeah? Some have people, some they have not yet discovered if they are peopled or not peopled. Now, our Buddha, the Shakyamuni Buddha, has discovered long ago that there are planes of existence which are peopled, like ours, or some are different from ours. Some are more advanced in technology, some are less advanced in technology, some are more civilized than ours, some are less civilized than ours. So when the queen went over there to that land, she saw that the earth of that planet was covered with gold, with crystal, and all the houses, the buildings are built in the air, not on the earth, and built with all kinds of precious stones, like lapis lazuli, like crystals, pearls, diamonds, rupees, emeralds, etc. And she was thinking, What a beautiful land it is. And the people who live there, well, they look similar to us, but they are more beautiful in appearance. And also, they do not walk. They do not need transportation like we do. They kind of fly. Whenever they want to go somewhere, they just fly. And whenever they want to come back, they fly back. And every kind of clothing or necessity will just appear to them whenever they need. There's no need to go shopping and waiting for parking and all this trouble. And no change money and all this kind of thing. And also in that land, there is a kind of nectar, a pool of nectar, where if one bathes oneself in it or one drinks a little from it, then one will feel different, feel enlightened, refreshed, and full of spiritual insight. Even in that land, the birds and the trees will speak the Dharma. Dharma is the Sanskrit term for teaching. Teaching in a verbal language. Also, sometimes it means the sentient beings. All kinds of phenomena in the universe. It also means Dharma. Also, Dharma, in a subtle sense, means that there is a subtle teaching, the invisible teaching, the truth. So it can be explained in many ways. Now, in that land of Amitabha Buddha, all the birds and the trees, the winds speak the Dharma. And when people listen to this so-called Dharma, they will have more faith in the Supreme, more faith in the Buddhas, in the practitioners, the assembly of the saints, and in the teaching of the saints. Now when we come to think of the Amitabha land, it's truly just like a fairy tale. How can the earth be covered with gold? How can the houses be built in the mid-air and not fall down? How can all the walls and roofs be made with crystals, diamonds, rubies, all kinds of precious stones, etc.? Here we fight over a piece of diamond, if it's large enough, yes. Well, we have to work very hard for many weeks in order to buy a small drop of diamond. I would say a drop, it looked like a drop of water, it's just a little bit harder. So just buy a drop of diamond, you have to spend a lot of money. Now in that land, they use diamonds, crystals, rubies, etc. to build their houses. Can you imagine? So that is one of the points why the Christians or the other religions could not believe in Buddhism. It is because the Buddha spoke too much. It is because his disciples spoke too much. What we call 多觉 in Zhongwen, 大ngôn. The Buddha did not speak actually. He did not tell us all this. It is the disciples of the Buddha, overhearing all these experiences, fantastic stories, wrote them down for others to enjoy. For example, sometimes my so-called disciples, please allow me to call them that way. I feel very shy, but there is no other name so that you will understand their relationship with me, Or you can call my students, students, and then they will think I teach in university. Yes, it's also a kind of university. Yes, it's a celestial university in which I teach. Now my disciples, sometimes they also wrote down their stories, of where the master had taken them to which land or to which country of the universe to visit. And they wrote down as their own inner experiences for them to check up their progress. Well, that we must do. That we must do anyhow. So if he died after my so-called disciple died, then what happens then? Maybe his nephews, his grandson, granddaughter will accidentally inherit this kind of so-called spiritual diary. And inside there will be full of inner experiences, like today he has heard the Buddha speak what to him. Today Master Chinghai took him to which Buddha's land and introduced him to whatever master over there, to which Buddha, or maybe took him to see Jesus, maybe took him to see Maria or Santa Clara, whatever. Then he all wrote it down. Then this book, if it's interesting enough, the nephew, the grandson, granddaughter, maybe will just publish it. And then it becomes one of maybe the Buddhist sutras. That's what happened with all the sutras in Buddhism. The sutras, or the so-called scriptures, have not been accumulated or written down until 100 years afterward. Before that, it was only spoken through words of mouth, and his disciples also did not write them down. They just listened to them through raconteurs. Storyteller? It's not nice. Raconte. Raconte is nicer. So you see, that's why the Buddhist scriptures are so vast and so rich in numbers. Because all their disciples' stories, there are so many. Because Buddha lived to the very old age of 80. And so his disciples are many, and the stories, no doubt, many. And also in India, at that time, it was very peaceful, and no one persecuted the Buddha or any of his followers. So they enjoyed a prosperous time, and they have time to write down and to preserve these precious memories of those disciples. Whereas with Jesus Christ, he had to work in darkness, to work in hiding. Yeah? If you read the story, you would know. And he was only famous a little bit after 3.5 years. They had killed him. So afterward, all the disciples had to separate in different directions and were also working under cover, not very open. Therefore, even if they have any inner experiences, they could not write down, or they couldn't be well preserved, because the people, the government of that time would search for them and would destroy all of them. So we have just noticed the Amitabha land, it looks like a fairy tale story. So many people will think, well, that's just some imagination, hallucination, or maybe illusion. So according to some Christian believers, Buddhism is a kind of imagination, hallucination or something. No. I tell you the truth. The land of Amitabha exists. Some of my disciples have visited after initiation, or some of them visit it right at the time of initiation, because it doesn't take long to visit these countries. It's just a second you can go, and a second you come back. It's a fraction of a second. It all depends on the openness of our mind, or the inner channel. Everything is within. There is nothing we can find without. So, as we have just noticed, the Amitabha land looked like a fairy tale story. So many people will think, well, that's just some imagination, hallucination, or maybe illusion. So, according to some Christian believers, Buddhism is kind of imagination, hallucination or something. No, no, no. I tell you the truth. The land of Amitabha exists. Some of my disciples have visited it after initiation, or some of them visited right at the time of initiation, because it doesn't take long to visit these countries. It's just a second you can go, and a second you come back. It's a fraction of a second. It all depends on the openness of our mind, or the inner channel. Everything is within. There is nothing we can find without. It all depends on the openness of our inner channel, or so-called our mind, yeah, or our enlightenment level. So that's the difference between hallucination, imagination, illusion, and the reality. Now, if a place is a hallucination or a product of imagination, then the others cannot come there. Only that person can come. And he can only come once, never twice, because it's a dream, it's an illusion. But if a place is real, then anyone can come, before him, after him, or any time, and verify the place's existence. So, if we do not practice the way to go into such places, then we cannot know that these places exist. Yeah. And most of the religions of the world are based on some kind of philosophy and argument back and forth. If there is God or there is no God, and why it's so and why it isn't so. Well, I am no exception. Most of the times I go to give lectures, I have to also air the views of different religions and make them understand that what the Buddha said about the moon and what Lao Tzu said about the Tao and what Jesus said about heaven is the same thing. But that is not my intention, and it's not my beloved subject. Actually, it's difficult. And you know what? After I die, another one who comes would have to add some of my saying in it in order to compare again and to convince the later generations that Master Jinghai say the same thing like the Buddha. You don't need to argue, etc. So it goes on and on and on and on. So we have so many religions in the world with no help to the yearning people. Because we only talk about philosophy and we do not show people the way. The way cannot be shown through books, through speaking, but through experience. That's why the Buddha said, look at my finger and you will find the way. Therefore, if the queen followed the Buddha, she saw the Buddha's land. She went with him. The finger just means instruction, or follow, believe in the master, and let the master lead you to wherever is suitable for your spiritual attainment at that time. That is the meaning of the finger. Now the queen, she was an ardent believer of the Buddha, and she surrendered herself to the master's instruction. Therefore that day in the prison, with a very sincere and longing heart, she prayed to the Buddha that this world is too miserable. Her own son had put her in prison. Therefore she felt the world is full of misery, unhappiness, and uncertainty. She prayed to the Buddha that she may go to some lands, to some places in the universe which are more stable, more loving, and more kind. So the Buddha came and took her to that land. Now after she went back from the Amitabha land, she wrote the experience down. And these leaked out. And so people got them and printed them. And until today, we have them preserved in a full original form. But although many people are aware of the content of the sutra, less people experience the land of Amitabha Buddha. The same with Christianity. If we are not sincerely devoted, if we are not gifted since many births with spiritual tendency, it is hard for an average Christian believer to experience the second heaven or the third heaven or the light of God or the sound of God, which are mentioned in the Bible. For example, in Christianity, there are some experiences about the inner kingdom of God. Like when Jesus was baptized, he saw the white light from heaven. Yeah, the spirit from heaven came down like a white dove. You remember? Now, how many of us today are baptized with such high experiences? Or when Moses went to Mount Sinai, he saw God like a big flame. So God appeared as a big flame, big light. Actually, it just says a big light. God is a big light. And God's voice like the sound of thunder, like the sound of many waters. And John heard the sound of trumpet in heaven. And someone else had been caught up in the third heaven, etc. Now, who has these kind of experiences nowadays? Very seldom. You see, very seldom. There are some exceptional saints in the Christian kingdom, and they have similar experiences to these mentioned in the Bible. But the average Christian, or even the average Buddhist, cannot experience these. So religions boil to nothing without an actual experience. So someone who is called enlightened is someone who can go at will to these kinds of light abodes, light planes, light worlds of existence. At least those of my disciples are called enlightened because they experience the light. And enlightened implies you must have the light to be enlightened. The light is within you. In the Christian Bible, it is said, take heed that the light in you should not become darkness. It also says, if your eye be single, your whole body shall be full of light. It always mentions about light and light. Also, it mentions that many kind of godly sounds, like the sound of thunder, the sound of many waters, the sound of heavenly trumpet, of harp, of all these kinds of things. Now, if we do not see God at all, at least we must see some of God's light, the manifestation of God, or hear the heavenly music which resounds from heaven, in order to reassure us that we are very near heaven. Now, if we do not see Amitabha Buddha or are not taken to that land, at least we see some of the light of Amitabha Buddha. Because Amitabha means infinite light. Or at least we hear some of the sounds, the sound from Amitabha's land, the sound of the birds singing, the sound of the leaves, and the sound of all the animals or the Buddha speaking the Dharma, giving the teaching. At least we hear from afar, so that we know somehow that we are very near the Buddha's land, or we are in touch with the border of the Buddha land. Otherwise, how do we know at all if God exists, if Buddha exists, if any Buddha land exists? There's one more thing I want to mention about Amitabha Buddha. It is said in the sutra that Amitabha, when he was in the flesh body, when he was practicing as a saint, as a yogi, he had 48 vows. One of his vows is this: if anyone hears his name prays to him even once at the time of death, in sincerity, of course, and all utter devotion and longing, he will take that person to Amitabha land, to his land. But his land, according to the sutra, is not a ready-made land or purchased from a supermarket land, or is already there empty and waiting. His land has been made from his own spiritual power, his own austerity and disciplines. Now this is what makes Buddhism stands out in contrast to Christianity. It is only because Christ had not that much time to explain to us in detail what he meant in such short paragraphs. Or maybe he had explained, but the information was too much for the church and they cut it down. Or maybe he had explained, but the prevalent authority had erased it. Yes, anything happens, anything. So now let me tell you about Amitabha Buddha. So when he practiced austerities and virtues of meditation, he vowed that his land, his own created land, later will be as pure as crystal, as precious as diamond, and everyone can always go there if they sincerely wish. So what is the point of me telling you this? It is like this. A great master of virtues and power can even take us to his own land. He can make a new heaven for us. Is this the same like Jesus said, in my Father's house there are many mansions? Yeah? Yes, yes.